Hello guys! Today I am going to be doing a video that is a little bit more controversial. I've wanted to do this video for quite some time and I haven't really felt like I should do it for a while because I was worried about what people might think. I was worried about the backlash and such, but it's always going to happen. There's always going to be backlash. There's always going to be somebody that doesn't agree with you and what you have to say. Today I am going to be talking about why Amber Heard is the worst advocate for domestic violence survivors. Not everybody's going to agree and that is fine, but I am sick and tired of arguing with people day in and day out on Twitter about this and people just not knowing the facts. I mean, I was pissed off before, but now I'm even more pissed off because she has just re-released on Instagram her joint statement that her and Johnny Depp made when they finalised their divorce. And she's purely done that because J.K. Rowling has said that both parties wanted to move on with their lives, so she is not going to recast Johnny Depp as Grindelwald, which is fair. For starters, he was never proven guilty. He's a brilliant actor and she wants him in her movies and she's happy with that decision, and it is nobody else's place to tell her that she can't do that. I'm not being funny, but what is wrong with that? Before they finalised the divorce, Amber Heard stated that she wanted to move on with her life and she wanted to be divorced from Johnny now. And at the end of that, she's put, "Women, stay strong." What has that got to do with anything? Seriously, why did she feel the need to put that at the end of her statement? What has that got to do with anything that is going on right now? In order for this to make any sense, I'm going to have to start at the beginning. So the reason I'm doing this is because I am sick and fucking tired of arguing about this with Amber Heard stans because they do not have the facts, okay? So I'm going to read a few tweets out to you here. One tweet here, okay? "I think the issue is what is a good enough excuse for her as an abuse victim to work with Johnny Depp, who's got a public record of abuse within a relationship." What? He's got what? What was that? A public record of abuse. Okay, so let me just break this down real quick for you, okay? So in order for somebody to have a record, they would have to be prosecuted. Johnny was never arrested. He never saw a day in court. She dropped the charges. Let's just get that purely plain and simple in black and white. Johnny Depp was never arrested for domestic violence. So therefore, he does not have a public record of abuse. It is... She made an initial 911 call to the police, whom turned up to the scene, saw no signs of abuse whatsoever. She did not want to talk about it. She did not want to press any charges. She didn't want him to be arrested. Okay, and it is a police's job that if they see any signs of abuse, they will arrest them regardless. They'll do an investigation regardless of what she wants. But she then came the next day and had all of these photographical evidence of all of this abuse that had apparently taken place, which the police had seen none of. And they left a business card saying that she can change her mind later on if she wants to. If she wants to press charges or file an investigation or whatever, she can, because that is her right. She is still claiming that he's abused her, so if she wanted them to place an investigation, they'd have to, regardless if they're seeing anything or not. You need to get that through your head. I am sick to death of seeing shit like this on Twitter all the time. He was arrested for domestic violence. He's been prosecuted. He hasn't. The only person that has been arrested for domestic violence in this relationship is fucking Amber Heard. She was arrested in 2009 for attacking her girlfriend in a public place. That is domestic violence. And I have had so many people tell me that that doesn't matter because it was two women. What? It doesn't matter because they're a same-sex couple. Yes, it fucking does. She was booked and she went to court. And nobody is getting this into their head. Nobody is listening to that. They are not taking that part into consideration when they should be. Just because she is a woman does not mean that she doesn't lie. Women lie all the time. All the fucking time. Especially about things like this. So you're all standing there saying, well, she had a bruise on her face. You could bash your knee off the side of a door and then you could turn around and tell the person who's asking about it that somebody pushed you down the stairs just for a bit of attention. People lie, okay? That could have quite easily been makeup. What do people do on Halloween? It just baffles me that people are so fucking stupid that they cannot just look at this objectively. They can't just sit there and think, well, hang on a minute, what if she is lying? I'm sick of all of these third wave feminists that are standing there and they're saying, well, you have to believe her just because you have to believe her because she's a woman, and a woman wouldn't possibly lie. I'm sorry, but you are all fighting for equal rights, for equality, for equal pay, to be taken seriously, to be treated to be treated as well as a man is, to be taken seriously in Hollywood just as much as a man. And yet you are not open to the possibility that women can lie just like men can. Women can be just as manipulative as men. Women can be just as abusive as men. My dad has been in an abusive relationship for 10 years and he is still in it because there is nothing that we can do. His girlfriend abuses him on a very regular basis, and do you know what she does? When he phones the police and needs help, she hits herself in the face, or she pulls some of her hair out, and when the police come, she answers the door screaming and crying and saying that he's going to kill her. And what do the police do? The police believe her, even though he's laid there in a pool of blood and he can't move, and he's black and blue. He's also an alcoholic. He's wore himself down so much with drink, he is completely dependent on her. She is his carer, she's his primary caregiver. She's supposed to be looking after him. He can't walk, he's in a wheelchair. And yet they see this man laid on the floor in a pool of blood and instantly believe the woman because, of course, a woman couldn't possibly lie about domestic violence. I can't comprehend it because people are so stupid that in 2017 they do not think that women can abuse people or can lie about abuse. It is just so horrible to see people so fucking set in this mindset. People always say, well, why can't your dad stick up for himself? He's a man, there's no way a little woman could possibly beat up a man. Yes, there is. She just does that because she's a fucking psychopath. Now, why can people not believe that, like somebody in Amber Heard's position, why can't people believe that she could possibly do that for money? Because she could. If my dad's girlfriend can do it just because she's evil and horrible, and she can lie about being abused herself, just so that she doesn't have to go to jail, it is quite fucking possible that Amber Heard could do this for money. It is very fucking possible. Because let's take a look at the court document that she filed when she requested spousal support, right? She filed this document to the court, which is all of her expenses. She is basically spending more. As you can see, she is spending more than she is earning. It is very, very possible that she has done this for the money. Like, guys, you really need to look at the court documents, okay? If you want to believe that Johnny Depp abused his wife, if you want to believe that, that is your fucking right, okay? You can believe whatever the fuck you want to believe. But to pass it off as fact is wrong. You cannot pass it off as fact, okay? Just like she's saying here, to pick and choose little bits and pieces is wrong. I'm sorry, but she is doing that. She is telling interviewers that she is a domestic violence survivor. Johnny Depp was never proven guilty in a court of law. It is innocent until proven guilty, okay? And he wasn't proven guilty. So therefore, she does not have the right to wear that crown as an abuse survivor. And any fucking evidence that she did have, she sold to the media. She did not cite abuse as her reason for divorce. The first document that she filed was for a divorce. And the reason that she cited on there was irreconcilable differences. That is very important because we have people now saying that she wanted to divorce him because he was abusing her. That is not the reason that she stated on the divorce papers, okay? She didn't file the restraining order until a few days later. We're going to move on to the restraining order point now. So the restraining order that she filed for was for a temporary restraining order. So Laura Vassar then responded to this saying Amber Heard is in no immediate danger. Johnny Depp is out of the country and he's going to be out of the country for a while. So the only reason she was granted this restraining order in the first place is because she sported a bruise on her face. For all of those thinking, well, he must have abused her because she got a restraining order. It is not that difficult to get a restraining order, okay? She had a bruise on her face. That is enough, really, to get one. So she released this statement to the court stating that she feared for her life. Her friends Raquel and Josh came into the apartment and Raquel had to shield her body with her body, and Johnny Depp was throwing things and trashing the place and screaming on the phone to I Tilla, whatever her fucking name is. And this, it's heartbreaking. It is. You read it and you think, oh my goodness, that poor woman, what an ordeal she's been through. But then she turned around and sent a letter to Johnny Depp's team saying, if you do not give Amber Heard the apartment that you abused her in, and pay for the mortgage, and also pay for her legal fees, and also give her spousal support, and also let her drive the Range Rover that she's currently driving because it'd be more convenient for her, even though she has a really nice fucking car that you provided for her and you fixed up because you knew how much she loved that car. No, she wants the Range Rover instead, just to spite you. If you do not give us all of these things, we are going to go to the public with this. We are going to go to the media. And what did he do? He let them. He already knew, guys. He already knew she was going to go to the media because they sent her this blackmail. They sent him this blackmailing letter. This one. And I'm not going to keep it on the screen for long, but I will link everything down below so that you can find it on your own. They sent him this letter, so he already knew that she was going to go to the media. Now, does that really sound like somebody that had actually abused them? Does it really? Because if you had been abusing somebody and you thought that they had even a shred of evidence of that, why would you even risk it? Why would you even risk your reputation? Why would you even risk the possibility that you could never find work again? Why would you even risk your family disowning you for knowing who you are? Why would you risk it? He wouldn't pay her legal fees. He turned around and said, I'm not fucking paying her legal fees. She can pay them herself. So she went to the media. And then all of this stuff got released. All of these images, all of these... well, this video of him allegedly abusing her, which I'm sorry, please watch that video, please watch it properly, because the only thing he is abusive to is the cupboards, okay? The fucking cupboards. If you feared for your life, if you genuinely thought that this person could kill you at any moment, and I'm going to use her own words here, I feared for my life. Johnny Depp was abusive towards me throughout the entirety of our relationship. So that's even before she married him. If you knew that your partner had got up in a bad mood, okay, and you had any fucking idea that they could pop at 1 minute and just start hitting you, why would you stand there and secretly record them? Why would you stand there and go, oh, but what's wrong? What's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. She could see that he was distressed. She could see that he was upset. She'd obviously upset him, or he had been upset by something in some way. And if she was really being abused by this person, why would you stand there and secretly record it? It was entrapment. She couldn't use that in court because she'd egged him on. She had trapped him in that situation and she was recording him without his consent. The only time, the fucking only time he got at all a little bit pissed off with her was when he realised that she was recording him, which he is fully within his right to be upset about because she is doing that without his consent. And let me just get this across, okay? Just because somebody attacks some furniture or some decor or punches a wall, that does not make them an abusive person. If anything, that shows you that they are not an abusive person because they are hitting the wall to get out their frustration. Domestic violence perpetrators don't do that. They hit the person, not the fucking cupboard or the wall. And you're all stood there saying he's an abusive person because he likes his alcohol. Let me just stress again that my father, like I said, is an alcoholic. And he has been getting abused by his girlfriend for 10 years. And not once has he laid a finger on her. Not even once. And just because somebody is an alcoholic does not make them an abusive person. Whoever says that, it's bullshit. And I really want you guys to please fucking think about that, because if it's stressing me out, then I know it's going to be stressing other people out as well. What we start to see after the initial request for the restraining order is obviously the evidence that she has being leaked to the media. I mean, that video that I explained to you just then, she claims that she never leaked that video. It came from her phone. And people don't realise that this is not evidence. This is not evidence that she can use because it doesn't prove anything. Pictures don't prove anything. A bruise doesn't prove anything. I could stand there and give my best friend 20 quid and say, punch me in the face as hard as you can, and then go to court and say my boyfriend did it. It happens. Women fucking lie about this kind of thing, especially when there's money involved. So now we have a lot of people on Twitter saying that it was never about the money. Actually, I will read out this tweet to you. So it says, Amber Heard, here are the photos of my bruises, the text messages of me expressing my fear. I want a restraining order, a divorce, and I want to donate all the money from my divorce to charity. And now apparently this is the response of the, what is the word, trash defending abusive trash. There's more to the story. What if he's guilty? What if he's not guilty? This is another thing that people genuinely believe. They genuinely believe that she walked into court and she said, whatever money I get from this divorce, I'm going to donate it to charity. That didn't happen. She only said she was going to donate the money to charity after people used her spousal support request against her, and after they settled the divorce. She did not walk into that court with the intent of getting justice. She walked into that court with the intent of getting money, because after she filed for divorce, the first thing that she requested was spousal support. She requested $50,000 a month in spousal support. Whether you agree with me or not, I do not give a flying fuck, because that is a fact. That is what happened. And then I know you're going to turn around and say, oh, well, she retracted it later on. Yeah, she did. But she still filed for the fucking thing in the first place. She also requested that the court block deny any sort of request from him for spousal support from her. She said in a statement that she thought requesting spousal support was part of the procedure. That is not procedure. It is certainly not procedure to turn around and say, don't let him have any of my money. She fucking knew. She knew they didn't have a prenup, and she knew that she had a very good chance of getting some money, because she's entitled to some money by law, because they were married in California. They were married for 15 months. So she was entitled to some money, especially without a prenup. But she was certainly not entitled to $50,000 a month in spousal support. And let me just explain to you what spousal support is. So it's to basically keep up the extravagant lifestyle. So say for example, if Johnny Depp and Vanessa Paradis were married, she would be able to get spousal support, because they had been living together for 14 to 15 years. She had a very different lifestyle while she was with him, which would have been hard to adjust out of. 15 months is not a huge adjustment. This is also coming from a woman who has claimed from the very start that she is a very fiercely independent person, and she never wants to rely on anybody for anything, yet she's asking for spousal support. So now I'm going to talk about the article that she wrote, for Allure magazine, and the very fucking terrible reporter that wrote that article. She had a feature in Allure magazine. She was the cover girl, and she had a feature that was basically talking about her as a person, and it was discussing her breakup from Elon Musk. It was talking about her being a domestic violence survivor. So I will just get the article up for you. Well, I'm only going to get a segment of the article up. I'm not going to read the whole fucking thing, because I'll be here all day, and I have got so much more shit to say. Basically, well, this interviewer starts off her interview by stating that her and Amber Heard got drunk, and that she was already like a glass of wine in by the time Amber got there. So we're off to a great start here. We're off to a very reliable, credible person. This paragraph says, if you have read anything about the 31-year-old actress in the past couple of years, aside from the news of her recent breakup with Elon Musk, you have read that she was a victim of domestic violence in a previous relationship, which is an antiseptic way of saying that she was beaten. And when your husband is maybe the most famous actor in the world, things get complicated, which is also an antiseptic way of saying torturous. After denials and failed attempts to destroy Heard's credibility, Johnny Depp paid her $7 million. She has donated all of it to the ACLU and Children's Hospital Los Angeles. Johnny Depp, if you however, for whatever reason, if there's some sort of miracle and you ever happen to see this video, sue the fuck out of Allure magazine right now. Because they have used your name, they have used false information. You can sue the fuck out of this. As I have said previously, Johnny Depp never saw a day in court. She dropped the charges. The charges were dropped. The restraining order was dropped with prejudice. Does anybody know what with prejudice means? Anybody? It means that that sort of allegation and that restraining order can never be filed again, and that usually happens in cases where there are little to no evidence. She filed for a permanent restraining order. She would not sit for her deposition. Her deposition had to be rescheduled many times, multiple times. She would cry and scream in the office just before she was about to do it. She then changed her mind and said she couldn't do it because she was in fucking Australia for a fitting, and then she couldn't do it because she was at her best friend's engagement party or birthday party or whatever it was. I will put the document here with Laura Vass's statement saying that please let us know a more suitable time. They were being accommodating. They were willing to change the time when it best suited her, but she would not sit for it. She then turned around and said she wanted a permanent restraining order. And then obviously they've gone, well, yeah, fair enough, whatever, you can have one, as long as you sit for your fucking deposition. But she wouldn't. And a deposition is very vital in a case like this, because you need to answer your questions. You need to give your statement in court, not just on paper. You need to sit and answer questions and tell them what happened. You can't just write it down. You have to sit and answer questions. You have to be open to the possibility that you might not win. And she couldn't handle that. She was saying, well, why shouldn't I be believed? I'm a woman, why shouldn't I be believed? But it doesn't work like that, I'm afraid. If people didn't lie about this kind of thing, then maybe, but people do. It has happened before. And evidence is a very key, important part of a case like this. You cannot just say that somebody has abused you and not provide any concrete evidence of this happening. It could ruin their reputation, it can ruin their relationships with people that they love, it can break families apart, it can make them lose their job. And this interviewer is full of fucking shit. She posted a status on Twitter saying, I'm getting Johnny Depp stands now going mad at me because Amber Heard's on the cover. That's not why we're going mad at you. We don't give a fuck if Amber Heard's on the cover. We're going mad at you because you are providing false information. You are slandering somebody. In your magazine, you are supposed to be a reporter. You're supposed to be a good reporter. And I would love to know where the fuck you're getting your information from. Because it is so sad we live in a time of third-wave feminists that just are out to completely destroy a man's reputation just purely because they are a man, okay? I have so many people telling me that I should just believe her. I shouldn't be questioning her. But like I have said, I have been in a situation like this. I have seen it from the outside. I have seen a woman lie and deceive and manipulate and abuse. I think that's the problem. I really do. I think that's the problem. I really, really hope that nobody has to be in the position that I've been in or that my dad has been in. But it has opened my eyes. When all of this information was coming out about Johnny Depp allegedly abusing her, you know, all of this evidence and all of these statements that she was making, her team on numerous occasions had turned around and said that Johnny Depp is dragging this out as much as he can. He is trying to bash her in the media and all of this shit. The only fucking statement that Johnny Depp made was at the start when he was first accused, and it said something along the lines of, Johnny Depp is upset because his mother has just passed away and he is not going to believe or listen to false allegations made against him. That is it. That is all that he had said on the matter. What this all comes down to is stop fucking lying. People on Twitter, you are not the court. You are not Amber Heard's personal fucking team. You do not know the facts. Stop lying. Stop saying that he was dragging her through the mud. Stop saying that he must be guilty. Right? Just because somebody stays silent doesn't mean that they're guilty. It means that they are not feeding into the media frenzy. It means that they are bigger than that. Johnny Depp said nothing to the media. He sold nothing to the media. She did. Any fucking evidence that she could have possibly used in court, she sold to the media, so therefore she couldn't use it anymore. She couldn't. It'd be inadmissible in a court of law. Let's also talk about that article that The Wrap published on Doug Stanhope. So Amber Heard was threatening to lie about him publicly in any and every possible way if he didn't agree to her terms, which is what we've already seen in that letter that her team sent to his team when she filed for divorce. And what did she do when this article came out? She sued him for libel. She tried to get more money. Just use your brain, use your eyes, look at it objectively. I am just so so tired of fighting this fight. And I know what people are going to say. I know people are going to say, you don't have to fight this fight. Stop getting involved. It's fucking stupid. They're celebrities. But I am passionate about this because domestic violence is not something that I take lightly. I am very serious about it because it is happening to somebody that I care about, and a woman is the perpetrator. And I am trying to get through to these people that think that women can't do this. This is majoritively the reasoning for a lot of people. It is the excuse that people use as to why they believe her, because she's a woman. And I'm telling you now that women do lie. She agreed to settle the divorce. She dropped the restraining order with prejudice. Okay? She decided that she would feel a lot better if she had money instead of justice. Which is what it all comes down to. That is it. That is all. That is it. You can argue that all you want, but that is the fucking fact. That is the fact of the matter. That is bottom line. She chose money over justice. Going back to the actual article that was in Allure magazine, we're going to talk about the fact that he paid her $7 million to allegedly shut up because he could not ruin her credibility anymore. So, after denials and failed attempts to destroy Heard's credibility, Johnny Depp paid her $7 million. He didn't pay her $7 million because he couldn't ruin her credibility. He paid her $7 million because that is what she was entitled to by law. Okay? He did not pay her any money to shut up. Let's just get that out there. She's agreed to settle. She has agreed that she will have the money, and she has agreed to drop the charges. She wanted to. She went in and she dropped the charges with prejudice. Straight afterwards, she goes to the media and she's a domestic violence victim. She's a survivor and she's now an advocate. She's speaking out and helping people. And she's crying on film saying that she can't believe that this happened to her, and I'm not a victim. I'm smart. I'm strong. I'm powerful. I'm not a victim. You're damn right you're not a fucking victim, because you didn't prosecute him. You had no evidence, love. And whatever fucking stupid, shitty evidence you did have, you sold it to the fucking media. How can people be so stupid? She is literally trying to extend her 15 minutes of fame. She is trying to stay in the spotlight. Every other week, every month, something new is coming out about this. Some new articles she's talking about, some new award that she's saying that she's honoured by, and she's only got because she's such a good advocate. She's so powerful and strong, and she's such an inspiration. She can't let it go, because she knows that as soon as she does, she's going to be irrelevant, just like she was before Johnny Depp. She does not hold the right to be called a domestic violence survivor when she was not willing to take her perpetrator to court and to prove that he was a perpetrator. Okay? She had the platform. She had the spotlight. She was married to one of the biggest stars in the world. She is accusing one of the biggest stars in the world of domestic violence. She should have turned around and said, no, do you know what? I'm going to take him to court. I don't want to settle the divorce just yet. I don't want to drop the restraining order. I'm going to sit for my deposition. I'm going to prove to you guys that he beat me, that he abused me. And I want justice. But she didn't do any of that. So how can you idolise somebody that had the means and the way and the limelight? How can you idolise somebody that just threw that all away? And then now she's claiming to be a domestic violence advocate, and she's telling the last little bit on a recent statement, women stay strong. At what point was she strong? When she screamed and cried in the room before she was supposed to have her deposition? Or when she requested spousal support and then said that everybody was using it against her? Or when she decided to drop the restraining order with prejudice because she wouldn't sit for her deposition? What is strong about that? At what point was she strong? Oh, what, because she came out and spoke about it? I'm sorry, but no. No. That doesn't make you strong at all. What makes you strong is going through with it. And then coming out at the end, no matter how hard or how difficult it is to fight this battle, what makes you strong is coming out at the end and being able to say, I had my day in court. I won. My perpetrator has been prosecuted. But no, she took money. And then he tried to donate it on her behalf, you know, because why not? It never said that he wasn't allowed to do that. And then she tried to get another fucking $7 million out of him, and again still turned around and said it wasn't about the money. How stupid can you guys be? For fuck's sake. I'm sick. I'm honestly sick. I am. I've had it up to here and get so frustrated. Like, come on. I mean, I've never always been a huge Johnny Depp fan. I was more a Leonardo DiCaprio fan. I hadn't really followed Johnny Depp until a few years ago. And even if I didn't like his films, I wouldn't just automatically assume that he'd beat her up, which a lot of people are saying. A lot of people say, well, you're only defending him because you're blinded by your love for him. No, that's not why I'm defending him. I'm defending him because she had no concrete evidence. He has been dragged through the mud. All of this shit came after his mother died. And I just think it's so unfair that somebody's reputation could be so damaged. Still so damaged by something that was never proven to be true. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. It doesn't matter what I think. Like I've said, I personally don't think that she's a very nice person. I think that she has done this for the money. I really do, because all signs point to that. There is a lot more evidence stacked up against her than there ever was against Johnny Depp. But that's just my opinion, and if you don't agree with that, then that's fine. But I have given you facts here. I have given you facts. I have provided court documents. I have provided segments from articles that have just been released. Statements that she has made that have credible sources. Court documents from the actual divorce. It's all there for you to see. If I have said something that I have stated as a fact, I have never been able to not back it up. I'm just not about that. It's a serious issue. You can't just fucking accuse somebody of domestic violence and then think that that's all. That's it. That's all you have to do. Because it's not. You have to be able to prove your allegations. I mean, she was arrested for domestic violence, and this is another thing that is pissing me off. I do not know how many times I have tweeted this, that Amber Heard was arrested for domestic violence. And every single fucking time I have tweeted it, you're all fucking ignore it. But it's true. It's a fact. You can Google it. 2009 Amber Heard domestic violence. It comes up. You can hear the fucking court recording. You cannot get any more concrete evidence than that. Tassia came out and released a statement saying that the officer that arrested her was being homophobic, and she saw two women and blew it out of proportion. The fucking police officer was gay. The officers came out and made a statement and said, look, I saw an altercation. Tassia was upset. She even showed the officer the property damage. She had broken some bracelet that she was wearing. She was really upset. She was crying. And Amber Heard got arrested and was taken to court. And it said that this will remain on your record for 2 years. It will be open. So if this ever happens again, if Tassia files again, she would be arrested and she probably would go to jail. She attacked her girlfriend in public. She was arrested, she was booked, and it was on her record. And Amber Heard tried to get that wiped from her record when she started filming the Rum Diary with Johnny Depp. She could, because it was after the 2 years, so she was allowed. But, come on. I mean, does that not look a little bit fucking weird to you? Like, please, just stop ignoring that. So many people have said that it doesn't matter because they were a same-sex couple, or it doesn't matter because Tassia's come out and said that it was blown out of proportion. Well, okay then, so this doesn't matter because Johnny Depp has said he didn't do it. You can believe Tassia, why can't you believe him? Why can't you believe that the officer of the law that has already stated that she is an open lesbian and did not do it because she was homophobic? Why can't you believe her? Why can you not believe that she would be telling the truth? We'll be arguing about this on Twitter, and it's just so overwhelmingly positive when you see all of these Johnny Depp supporters replying to these Amber Heard fans saying, look, we are not being dicks, we are not supporting an abuser, okay? We genuinely do not think that he is an abuser. He is the evidence. Here are the court documents. Here is the evidence to prove that she wanted money to start off with. She wanted this, and she requested this, and she wanted the apartment and the fucking car and the dogs or whatever. What do we get in return from Amber Heard fans? Abuse. That's really fucking ironic considering the situation. Because that is all we get. Doesn't matter how reasonable you are, all you get is abuse. All you get is no, don't you fucking dare disrespect her. This is what J.K. Rowling's getting. She's getting a fuck ton of abuse from Amber Heard fans saying that she's disrespecting her and she's a fucking victim shamer and she's an abuse supporter. That is not the case. It was never proven. She does not have to explain jack shit to anybody, okay? You should respect her decision. I don't bash Justice League or any other directors or any other writers for who they cast in their films if I don't like them, because it has got nothing to do with me. It is her decision. She's happy with that. The directors are happy with that. The filmmakers are happy with that. Everybody's happy with that, apart from you. They wanted to move on with their lives. He was never prosecuted for anything. She signed this document here to say that it would be dropped with prejudice and that she can never file for it again. Anybody that calls her a domestic violence advocate, including herself, is literally slapping the faces of anybody who has ever survived a domestic violence situation ever. Because what has she done to help domestic violence survivors? Again, from the same article from Allure magazine. As a famous person and a person who has been on the receiving end of domestic violence, is it incumbent upon her to help others? Does she have to use her power for good? So Amber's response to that was, I don't have to, I have to. If I didn't have a platform, I would stand on my toes. I have a semi-functioning brain and a semi-functioning limbic system, and as a human being, it is incumbent on me to make the world a better place in any small, insignificant way I can. I've always tried to do the right thing. I use everything I was given, and I had to make it better for the next person. So, Amber, darling, please, please tell me how you are using your tiptoes to stand on that platform and speak up. Please tell me. Please tell me how you are helping other people. Please. I would love to know. And anybody that says she's donated all of the money, you're also full of shit, because she hasn't donated all of the money yet, because it's getting to her in installments, so she can't have donated all of the money yet. I honestly feel sorry for Amber Heard fans, because this is the kind of thing that they go off. They go off articles like this. This is what they use as their source of information, which isn't entirely their fault when you have got an incompetent reporter. I know that you don't want to believe that somebody can lie about this thing, and it's so horrible, and you don't want to believe that somebody could be capable of lying about this, because it's such an awful crime and it's so horrible. But people do. You have to be open to this. And I don't know how many times I can say it without my head exploding. You have to be open to this. There are more holes in her story than anything. Like, the only witnesses to defend her were her best friends. But the people that came out to defend Johnny Depp were like authority figures, like police officers and members of his team and stuff like this. Like, the night of the alleged incident, she was screaming, "Get away from me, stop hitting me." And the security guards were out of the door. They were in the door within a millisecond, and she was in the sitting room behind a couch and he was in the kitchen miles away from her. So the time, like, if it took them that quick to get into the room and he was hitting her, and as she was saying, "Stop hitting me," they entered the room, but he was in a different room. I mean, people just have this mindset and they believe what they want to believe. If I can't change your mind, then I don't know who can. We're going up against a woman here that has a criminal record. She has forged documents to get her dogs into Australia illegally. She has had her license suspended when she was 16 years old. She's been arrested for domestic violence, which is just the cherry on top of the fucking cake. But yet nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to care because it's a woman. And I am telling you now, you not caring about her abusing her girlfriend because she is a woman is very, very fucking offensive and very, very upsetting. I am just, please, I am begging you, I am honestly begging you to just get out of that mindset. Just learn some facts. Look at it objectively with an open mind and become a better person for it. People don't believe me. People don't believe my dad. And people don't want to believe because it's embarrassing for him. It's embarrassing to think that a woman could do that to him because he's a man. It's not coming and whatever. That's the way that he thinks. That's why he never spoke out for so long about it, because he was embarrassed that a woman could beat him up and he couldn't defend himself. But I don't want that. I don't want people to think that women don't do this kind of thing, because they do. And I want to talk about the state of Johnny Depp while he was married to her. He was a mess. He gained weight, he looked scruffy, he didn't care about his appearance. And I'm telling you this now because this is what I see when I look at my dad. This is what I see, and this is somebody that is being abused by a woman. The episode of Overhauling, when Johnny Depp, you know, tricks Amber into thinking that her car had been stolen so that he could pimp it up for her. It was a Mustang. And when she realised that she was tricked and she realised what he'd done, and she was happy about it, she starts hitting him and joking on, and she's like slapping him on the arm and pushing him and like jumping on him and things like that. And it's like, I'm not being funny, but anybody that's been abused wouldn't dare do that. They wouldn't dare hit their partner on camera, even if they were joking, because behind closed doors, that's embarrassing to that other person. That would be embarrassing to Johnny Depp. If he was actually beating her up, that would be embarrassing. And if she feared for her life, why would she start slapping his arms and pushing him and jumping on him? And why would you do that? It's as if she's got the authority in the relationship. She grabs his face as she kisses him. And these are not signs of somebody that's been abused. These are signs of an abuser. These are signs of somebody that wants to insert their authority, and somebody that wants to show people that that person is their property. It's all about looking at mannerisms and characteristics, and you look for these traits, you look for them early on, you look at like if there's a pattern forming, if anything like this has happened before. And there's also a video of her on Pornhub rolling around on her bed begging for him to come home because she misses him. She's touching herself and she's saying that she misses him and she loves him, and she wants him to come home so that he can touch her and he can be where her pillow is. If you feared for your life, why would you do that? Why would you beg for them to come back? You would enjoy every time that you possibly had alone, every moment alone. And I honestly think, in my opinion, that he was the one that was being abused. Just because it wasn't physical doesn't mean that he wasn't being emotionally abused. To see how far he's come now, and to see how much healthier and how much better he looks, it's just further confirmation to me that he was in trouble. He was being manipulated and he was being abused. And whether you want to believe that or not, that is up to you, but I am not letting anybody tell me that I can't say that, because I have already said that that is how I feel. That is not a fact, but that is how I feel, and I am sure that I am not alone in this. Just look at him, just look at how much better he is and how much healthier and happier. And yeah, he still likes a drink, so fucking what? Don't we all? Just because you like a drink doesn't mean you're a fucking bad person. I like a good drink on a Saturday night or a bottle of wine on a Thursday. You know, like, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. So I feel like that is pretty much all I can say on this. But just to sum up, use your own brain, use the facts and the evidence, and I will list everything that I have talked about, any facts that I have presented to you, any court documents that I have discussed in this video will be available to you in the description so that you can find it and so that you know that I am not bullshitting. Can we just stop this mentality that women are right and women should never have to prove themselves? You need to realise what is fact, what is opinion, and you need to seriously, before you honestly jeopardise and ruin somebody's fucking reputation because of how you feel, you need to state what is fact and what is your opinion. And she should be doing that too. That just further proves that she is a terrible advocate for domestic violence victims. I am a woman and I do not want her representing me. I do not want her to be what I am supposed to look up to. I do not want her to be a role model for me, because she isn't. And you can argue with me about that all you want, that is my opinion, but my opinion is based off multiple facts. Yours is based off allegations. I mean, figure it out for yourself, guys. I have seen it for myself, and people are saying that she has done everything that a domestic violence victim would usually do. She hasn't, because I have seen it. She had never once acted like a domestic violence victim. She never once showed any signs of being a victim. So that is all I can really say, and thank you so much for watching and listening. And if you're sick of arguing with Amber Heard fans on Twitter, then maybe just send them this video if you think it's stacked enough with information, if you think it might help. So yeah, this has been a video on why I think Amber Heard is a terrible advocate for domestic violence victims. I don't want her representing me, or any women for that matter. And yeah, so I have stated opinions, I have stated facts. Let me know what you think, let me know if you agree or if you disagree. And yeah, so thank you for everybody that has given me their sources and given me the documents, and people that said they really wanted me to do this. Thank you. Moral of the story, stay humble, stay loyal, don't lie, and do not be a fucking dick. So thank you very much guys, I will see you soon. Goodbye.